So good morning. This is Liz Campbell at Yoga Gym. And this morning I'm going to take us through a supine practice, which can be very grounding and very relaxing. And I like this practice because you can do it anywhere really that you have space to lay down. You can do it in your bed, on your carpet. And the first thing I want you to do is notice how it feels for you to just be flat on your back, knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And if your head and neck are really uncomfortable, I suggest you get a very thin blanket, or just a little bit. You just want a little bit of something under your head so that you're not hyperextending your chin in this way. Then bring your hands down to the side, and you want your heels in line with your sits bones, which you can put your hands down here and feel where those bones are. And so I don't care how far forward or back your feet are, but you want them hip distance apart in line with the sits bones. And then release the shoulders here. You can roll your palms up and just start breathing. And as you inhale and exhale, let the mind follow the breath so that you think, I breathe in, I breathe out. I breathe in, I breathe out. On your next inhale, slowly let the arms come up and over, bringing the tips of the fingers towards the wall behind you. And as you exhale, bring the arms down. Just inhaling and exhaling like this. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, bringing the arms back down to the side. Now, if it's painful for your shoulders, just bring your arms to where it is not painful. So your range of motion may be a little bit higher. Right here, maybe, might be good for you. Because we're always looking for our edge in yoga. You're looking for the place where you can work without pain. There might be a little discomfort when you do something unusual. And part of the work of yoga is to figure out where that is for you in your body. Where does discomfort become pain? And can I have the discipline to back out and to not practice in pain? One more time, inhale and exhale, and then bring your arms down to the side and come back to the breath. And we take these breaks so that you can practice relaxing on the mat. Inhaling and exhaling here. And on your next inhale, bring your right knee into the chest, flex the foot, and press the foot up to the ceiling. And then as you exhale, bend the knee, float the foot down to the mat. Inhale, left knee in, straighten the foot up to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knee, float the foot down to the mat. Just keep going like this. Inhale, right knee comes in and straightens. Exhale, right knee bends, foot floats to the floor. Inhale, left knee comes in and straightens. Exhale, bend the knee, the foot floats down to the floor. Just slow, gentle movement. So you can imagine you're in a vat of gooey peanut butter, and that's creating resistance to the movement that can help you slow it down. You may notice that the belly muscles want to gently engage, and help them out by just drawing the navel towards the floor here. And then you get a little break when the foot comes down, and then drawing the navel in, hold, and a little release here that goes with the breath. So it's inhale, draw the navel in, bring the knee in, straighten the foot. And as you exhale, you're still holding what's called Uddiyana Bandha and lowering the foot. And if that's just too much for you, just flow through this and notice how it feels to you. The next time your left leg goes, when the foot comes down to the mat, just stay here. You're going to drop into the breath. So just notice the breath, and then notice if you're holding tension anywhere in your body. Release that into the earth. And breathe. Now we're going to work on opposing arms and legs. So bring your right knee into the chest, and as you straighten the right knee, the left arm comes up and over. And then exhale, bend the right knee, float the right foot, left arm down to the mat. And then the left knee comes in. As you straighten the knee, the right arm comes up and over. And as you exhale, bend the knee, float the left foot, right arm down to the mat. Inhale, right knee, left arm, straightening the leg. And exhaling back to the floor. And then left knee, right arm. This is the inhale, exhale as you bend and lower to the floor. So keep going like this back and forth. And the foot is flexed. And you're reaching through the heel. And every time the foot comes down, you want the heel to be in line with the sits bones. And the knee, you want the top of the knee right here to stay in line with the top of the iliac crest or the hip bone. And so just continue this sort of slow yogic backstroke. We're just looking for the movement to become smooth and fluid. And then the next time, the left foot and right arm are on the floor. Again, stay here and breathe. And now just gently rock your knees from side to side. And then bring this rocking to a close. And if you have a yoga block, get a yoga block. And we're going to place the yoga block between the thighs here. And that will magically position the heels hip distance apart, the knees hip distance apart. And we're gonna work on some core strength. So in yoga, the core strength is called the root lock or Mula Bandha, or the muscles of the pelvic floor. And then there's a second, they're called bandhas. There's a second bandha or a group of muscles called Uddiyana Bandha, which is the navel and the abdominal muscles. And to engage your core strength, if you'll hug the block, that will recruit the adductor muscles to engage the root lock or Mula Bandha, lifting up on the muscles of the pelvic floor and draw the navel in. And when you do that, there's a little pelvic tilt forward, so the tailbone kind of goes up towards the ceiling that way. And then as you release, the pelvis rocks back the other way. Hug the block, engage the root lock, the pit of the belly, and you'll feel that pelvic tilt forward. And exhale, release. And just keep going like this, hugging the block, root lock, pit of the belly, and exhale, release. You may notice as you do this, as this gets stronger for you, when you draw the navel in, the sacrum or the low back will press into the earth. And that's a good thing. That will stabilize the low back into the earth. And it means you're building that core strength, which is the stability for the lumbar spine especially. And of course the thoracic and cervical spines sit on top of the lumbar spine, so it stabilizes them also. Now, bring that to a close. Just take a rest and breathe, and you want to notice. So when you're working with the bandhas, these are little tiny invisible muscles that are difficult to see. And so sometimes you wonder, well, am I doing what she's telling me to do or not? Now, if you were in a live class, I can tell if you're wiring that up or not. But if you're on video, you just have to notice for yourself. And even if you're unsure if you're doing it right, just keep on going, and you'll wire up the motor neurons, and then you'll get a little more muscular, and then you'll be able to understand that you are indeed, I don't know how long, all of a sudden one day you might go, oh, that's what she was talking about. So if you don't get it all right away, really just keep practicing, and it will come in time with repeated practice. So now we're going to take that a step forward and lift our hips up off the mat in a bridge pose. So hug that block, engage the root lock like you're stopping a stream of urine. Draw the navel towards the spine. Hold that muscular bowl, press into the feet, lift your hips up. And then go ahead and exhale, release back down. And we're just going to touch and go, come right back up. Engaging the bandhas, hold the bandhas, come back down. There's a tiny release here. Hug the block, engage the root lock, the pit of the belly, lift. And I'm going to move my arms out to the side so you can see me a little bit better. And I'm not lifting real high here because I want to wire up the muscles. Before I start lifting real high, I want to be strong. And one more time, lifting and releasing, and then coming back down. Just take a few breaths and notice where you're holding tension. So you may feel it in the low back, it may be in the belly, it may be between the shoulder blades, in the back of the neck, in the face or jaw. Wherever you're holding tension, notice for yourself. Take slow, deep breaths and allow that tension to release. Now bring the palms of the hands down to the mat, hug the block, engage the bandhas, and this time lift up and then press into the feet, press into the tops of the shoulders, lift a little higher. Now we're getting into the back bend of the bridge pose, and then exhale, release back down, and just stay here and breathe. So the reason I like to use the block is because then you have to lift from this core strength. What I see a lot of times, what people want to do is this, and they're actually using the glutes. When the knees are coming out like this, you're squeezing the glutes, and we don't want to do that. We do not want to lift with the glutes. The glutes will help out because they're big, strong, healthy muscles, but we want to lift with core because that's the weakest part of the body. We want to build strength in our bodies where they tend to be weak. So hugging the block, lifting up on the root lock, drawing the navel in, pressing into the feet, pressing the shoulders, pressing a little higher. The bandhas are engaged the whole time I'm talking to you. They're engaged. Then when I'm as high as I'm going to go, I just breathe here. The bandhas are still engaged. I'm hugging the block gently, not a tight squeeze, and then slowly release back down. And just gently rock the knees from side to side. Now, bring that to a close. Take the block out. And we're going to do a little breath practice. So I've had a lot of requests for help with breathing during this national emergency that the COVID-19 is imposing on the world. And it's the breath is a great practice. Sometimes it's helpful to do a little asana or posture practice before you go to a breath practice, because it balances the energy. It just helps you offload some of that unhelpful energy that we tend to carry with us. So take one hand and place it on your heart center right here, and take the other hand and just lay it on the belly, maybe the middle finger right at your belly button, and just relax the hands on the front body. And then just start breathing and notice the breath as it enters and exits the nose. And notice any rise and fall of your hands, or the belly, or the heart center. And then as you're breathing, really breathe into the belly hand. Let the belly be soft and expansive, and then exhale. Take your time. Let the breath release totally and completely from the navel center. And then inhale, letting the breath fill the belly, and exhale. Feel the belly gently retract as the breath leaves the body. Keep going. One more time. And then bring that to a close. Go ahead and bring your hands down to your side. Roll the palms up. Straighten one leg and then the other, coming into Shavasana. Come back to that deep belly breath. Soft, gentle, relaxed belly. I breathe in. I breathe out. Close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. Notice the support of the earth under your spine. And when you're ready, bend one knee and then the other, placing the feet flat on the mat. Gently roll over onto your right side in the fetal position. You can stay here for a breath or two. You can bring your right arm up and cradle your head on your arm if you like. A few more breaths here. And then using your hands, press yourself up to a seated position. And then sitting up nice and tall here, bring your hands to the heart. Namaste. Thank you all so much for joining me.